G'day, welcome back. This is another Maps and Spots video. This one's going to cover the fishing platforms and the jetties that surround the Redcliffe Peninsula. We're going to start at Woody Point. We're going to start at Clontarf, sorry. We're going to go through Woody Point, around the front to Redcliffe, and then around, finish up at Scarborough and Newport. That's what we're going to look at today, so let's get on with it. The Clontarf jetty runs just beside the Horton Highway. It's got a good little parking area just off to the side of it. It's got facilities there, male-female toilets, and it's got a nice little platform to fish off. Very, very popular fishing platform, this one, and the good thing about it is you don't have to fish on the jetty. There's heaps of structure, rock walls, as you can see in the videos. You'll pick up Moses perch, brim, flathead, occasional trevally. Every now and then the tarpons swim through there. It's a good place to squid fish in the wintertime when the water's clear. I don't fish very often on the actual jetty, but plenty do. Especially in the mornings, you'll see all the cast netters there. I fish mainly on those rock walls. The next major fishing platform is the Woody Point Jetty. The Woody Point Jetty is a very popular place. It's got good parking. Very, very big jetty, and it's just to the western side of the green zone. So it's quite a big green zone around Woody Point. The good thing about that it allows so many fish to habitat in there and breed, and Woody Point Jetty is their first port of call in the wintertime. Very, very good spot for squid, and in the summertime it's one of the favourite spots for the shark fishermen. Every night just about you'll find somebody fishing for shark off the end of that Woody Point Jetty. You'll get all your normal fish, your brim, flathead and everything else on the Woody Point Jetty. But again, I don't fish very often on the jetties because they're just too popular for me. I like that rock wall high tide, so the top 2 hours of a good tide, so three moons leading up to a full, or a no moon, and the 3 moons after a full or a no moon. Those tides are generally a little bit bigger, and for the top 2 to 3 hours of the tide on that rock wall just to the western side of the jetty, very good fishing. To the eastern side of the jetty, there's up to the green zone. That area in there at low tide is at all tides is sensational for flathead. We go around the corner. The next major fishing platform is the Redcliffe Jetty. Redcliffe Jetty is one of the most popular jetties you'll find anywhere around Brisbane, mostly because it has a little shopping strip along Redcliffe Parade that is just sensational. Heaps of coffee shops, every shop you could ever imagine you'll find just off the Redcliffe Jetty. You'll also find, when it's in season, the whaling boat works out of there. Another thing the Redcliffe Jetty is good for in the wintertime is squid. You'll catch plenty of squid through the wintertime when the water's a bit clearer on the cold nights. Redcliffe Jetty is a great little spot to take your kids if you want to definitely catch something. Take your sabiki jigs and your kids will have a ball. There's always plenty of bait around the pylons on the end of the Redcliffe Jetty. If you're a little bit more adventurous and you don't want to fish on the Redcliffe Jetty, both sides of the Redcliffe Jetty there's really good rock structure, really good shallow reef, and you'll get just about every fish you can imagine through that reefy area. In the wintertime again, great spot for squidding. Moving north from Redcliffe Jetty, the first little jetty fishing platform that you get to is Shield Street. Shield Street is just one of the better known little spots on the Redcliffe Peninsula for your land-based snapper fishermen. It's quite a good spot. If you're going to fish for snapper there, I strongly suggest that you do a couple of recce's. Go down there at low tide, have a really good look at the shallow reef and where you'll be casting, and then at high tide, go back and you'll know where to cast. Set up for snapper and you won't be disappointed. You won't get them every trip, absolutely won't get them every trip that's fishing, but it is one of the better known land-based snapper spots. Further north from there we get to another little fishing platform very similar to Shield Street. All the same fish you'll catch there, brim, flathead, snapper. Again, look at it at low tide, work out where you need to cast and how you need to fish it. Go back at high tide, great little spot. Osborne Point. Osborne Point's also got the little boat ramp just beside it. You can put your yaks in there, you can put reasonable sized boats in there, but the parking isn't sensational for a lot of boats. On the busy days you find it difficult to get it parked quite often, have to park quite a way away. There's some really good footage of what the shallow reef systems look like through Scarborough and Redcliffe on this just next to the Osborne Point fishing platform. Moving further north, you get to the Scarborough platform. There's great parking at Scarborough platform. Excellent spot to put in for your yak fishermen. It's got a good grassed area where you can set up. You can drag the yaks down through a nice clean sand into the shallow reef at any time of the tide, whether it be low or high. The way the tide runs there, at high tide you've got about 2 to 3 feet of water over all of the structure. At low tide you can walk out there and go worming. There's no water at all. Definitely bream and flathead right through the year. You will get snapper off there at high tide. One of the better spots there for squid fishing. It's one of my favourite little go-to spots. Now as we go around the corner and move a little bit west, we get to the Scarborough Marina platform. Very popular spot. It's quite a good walk if you don't want to fish, you just want to go for a nice walk and have a coffee. Excellent spot to go. But it is a really good fishing spot in the winter time. Right at the end there you'll get your tala and your bream and your flathead. And in the summertime it's also a good spot for your bream and your flathead. Further west from there, and this is the last platform we'll talk about, it's at Newport Canal. Right at the mouth of Newport Canal is a fishing platform. It's got quite a good little spot there to set up for families. Got a little barbecue area, got lots of cover, very good facilities. Top spot, take a family, have a picnic, do a little bit of fishing. That brings us to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe. If you got something out of the video, hit that like button and I'll catch you on the next one.